What was the message to your guys after the touchdown or the run where the kid kind of ran through your entire defense and everybody's missing tackles and everything, came over the sideline? What was the message you were giving those guys at that time?
Got to wrap up, got to tackle. We were tired, we were gassed, but we had him. The sad thing is we had him 10 yards deep in the backfield and let him get out. So, and then David and Dylan on the sideline let him go. So you just wrap up and finish a play.
Does it surprise you when David comes up empty? I mean, he does so rarely do that.
Yeah, and it's hard to get mad at him. He had 15 tackles and 3 TFLs, but everybody sees that one play, and so it was. Yeah, what are you going to do? You have to rally him. You can't just dwell on that one play. We had to go back out. We were on the ropes, and we had to keep him motivated and try to keep him juiced up a little bit. The one thing that I was happy with on that drive, though, is they had it 1st and goal, and we ended up forcing a field goal, so that was big.
Were you happy with the effort? Did great outgoing effort?
Yeah, I think a lot of the effort comes from when they did have Los, we were just so tired. 52 snaps we played in the second half, so that's a lot of plays.
Then it looked like Dylan might have let up just a little bit, like he was thinking he was going out of bounds. Is that kind of an outgrowth of the protecting guys going out of bounds thing that's difficult to coach?
Yeah, it is, because you tell them, no stupid penalties. We had enough penalties Saturday to last the rest of the year, and you don't want to give them a cheap 15 yards right there. But also you play through the whistle, and there was no whistle being blown. And I think what he thought was David was going to make the tackle, and David missed and ducked, and it was a bad play.
So Tony, tell us about the minors hat. How did that thing all come together, and what's behind that?
We weren't getting any turnovers, so we finally broke it out against K-State, and now we have 4 since then, so we'll keep it.
Is that your idea?
There was a lot of things that went into it, a lot of fans emailing and, thought that we should do something, and the more I thought about it, I thought it was a pretty good idea. So asked the kids and asked a couple of the defensive leaders, and they were all about it, so I wanted to do it.
Any flashback back to the Baylor game last year when your defense is down on that field like ever in the second half? Do you start thinking that way, here we go again with Texas Tech?
No, I don't flash back a year ago. I'm worried about the next play, so getting a call in to get it stopped. And
But then you had the big defensive play that really turned the game around.
yeah, I was proud of the kids. They kept fighting. So, and we could have helped ourselves. We could have got off the field a couple of times on 4th down, and we didn't. And they kept drives alive. So you have to give them credit too. They're a good football team. It's not like we're playing a winless Texas Tech team. They just, went into Stillwater and won big, put up a bunch of points, and they're explosive on offense.
Where do you go to get a miner's hat? You send the equipment guy after it?
Actually, Steve Aniline got it. It's a real miner's hat. I know there were some concerns about that. They said it looked like it bought it from Walmart. We didn't. It's a real one. The light works, so it's the real deal.
Speaking of looking back a year ago, how much Kansas film did you watch? Obviously, they gassed you a lot. I mean, what were they doing? How do you?
A lot of this stuff was self-inflicted. We had a lot of new guys that day. I was just looking at the film. Obviously, I've watched it. Going into that game, they had not shown power one snap all year, and they ran it 31 times against us. And then the third play of the game, we lose Kaiser. David Long was out. Toyas was out. Marvin, which replaced Toyas, went out. So I think at one point we were playing with 9 freshmen, playing with guys that aren't here any longer. So, I try to forget about what happened last year and move on. But we do, scheme-wise, we looked at a bunch of it. Also look back at TCU, what Meacham how he tried to attack us when he was there. So there's a little bit that goes into it, but, more focused on what they're doing right now. But we will be working the power a bunch.
Have they run it this
No.
year?
No.
Game. It's been pretty strong this year. What have you seen out of that? I know they've got the freshman that's been having a pretty good year.
Yeah, I tell you, the Williams kid and Herbert are both are explosive backs. And their quarterbacks do a good job too on the zone read, pulling it and keeping you off balance. But those two backs are as good as any backs we'll play all year long. And Williams is the fastest back that we'll play all year long.
What about the quarterbacks? I know they play a couple different guys. How are you guys? What are you seeing out of that on the film?
Well, what we need to do is prepare for all three. 8 is more of a runner. 7 and 9 are very similar. 9 they all take care of the ball. They don't have an interception yet this year, so we have to do a good job. They have explosive wideouts. The Sims kid's a really good player, so they can get you. I mean, they scored 34 on us a year ago, and so it's not a. I mean, our kids have to come ready to play, because if not, they'll light the scoreboard up.
You ever get sick of having to look at 2 or 3 different quarterbacks? It seems like
Yeah.
every week.
Yep. I get sick of looking at offenses. So
He's only played 4 games, but is Puka Williams, is he already maybe the most explosive guy you've seen
Yes.
at Kansas?
yes, he's a very good player, and he does it to everybody. He did it to Rutgers, did it to Central Michigan, he did it to Oklahoma State. So he did it to Baylor. He's popped out. I mean, he has runs. Well, he's leading the Big 12 for a reason, and and he'll get 2, 3, 4, 80. So he can move, and he's tough. He's not real big, but boy, he runs angry.
Has any defensive player recently had a better series than Keith Washington did in the first quarter? It's basically his total 3 and out.
Yeah, I tell you what, when you watch the film, it's even more impressive on film, because it was all day long. The one play that probably goes unnoticed, it was in the third quarter, I think, maybe the fourth. We were in a cloud coverage, rolled up corner, and he's out on the numbers to the field, and they run a draw to the boundary side, and he makes the tackle on the hash for a 6-yard gain. And it was second long after a penalty, and he's physical. He plays hard, plays fast, so really impressed with where he's at right now. We need him to continue to keep doing that.
What are you seeing from Keith that maybe you weren't in camp? What has he done to elevate himself?
Well, Keith is just, and I told the guys the other day, just trying to make an example of Keith because of all the good he's been doing, but Keith played 0 snaps against Tennessee on defense, which probably makes us look dumb. And he just kept working. He didn't pout. And why that even got brought up Sunday in our meeting is we come out in the third quarter, we get a stop, get a sack, get off the field. Nobody's excited on the sideline, like we didn't even want to be there. So that's concerning, and that was addressed. But the 11 guys out on the field were excited, but we had guys over there, I don't know what their problem was. If it was too hot, they thought the game was over, whatever it may have been. And, we don't have time to, do that. We have to keep getting better every snap, every series, and every game. And that part of it was disappointing.
Give you athletically, you have a number of guys that can run. Is he as good? He looked like a quarterback again in high school when he had the ball in his hand. Keith.
You talking about Williams?
Keith.
Keith?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he can run. He knows what to do with the ball when he gets it. He's very explosive. He can jump. The biggest concern I had with Keith coming in is I thought he may be too light and couldn't play as physical as we wanted him to, and he's proved me wrong on that.
Did Reigns play Saturday?
No.
Okay. The stuff you're doing with your linebackers and your defensive linemen blitzing seems like it's getting better. The timing involved in that, when you're rolling in different guys up front too, how tricky is that to get down, and how much do you like what you see there?
It is. It's tricky, but that's what practice is for all week. And we spend a lot of time on our blitzes, and it starts today. So we'll walk through, and we have a certain amount of blitzes we go into the game with to attack different personnel groupings, and we'll rep it with everybody. And then we have a blitz period against our offense where we get to rep it, and we'll continue to do that all week long. So by the time Saturday gets here. And what's sad is we had an opportunity, probably 2 or 3 sacks the other day, and we had some guys that didn't hit at full speed or hesitated for some reason. I think they got scared of the quarterback because they knew he could run, so they were cautious blitzing, and we don't need to do that.
Can you talk a little bit about, you got a kid like Norwood, coaching a kid like that in the situation he finds himself in now? I mean, you want him to do what comes naturally, which is what he did. And yet he can't do it.
No, you can't. And the biggest thing, and everybody, I've had 100 emails and messages from other people, that's not targeting and all that. And yeah, I think the same thing. But the number one thing is anytime you launch at a player, they're going to get you. It doesn't matter where the contact's at, and he launched. And you can't do that. He should have went for the ball. And that was our coaching point. Go for the ball, put your hands up. And if you collide with the receiver, then they're not going to call targeting. But when you put your arms down to the side and you jump and come off your feet to hit him, they're going to call it 100%.
How would Carl Joseph have performed under this rule?
Glad it wasn't in effect when he was here. I think it was his last year, and he probably they show video of the hit against Oklahoma. That's the one targeting. That's the officials used that tape, but he should have definitely been ejected that game.
I'm going to ask Jake this. Dana wasn't interested in talking about it, but he's got 57 wins. He's got one more to tie Art Lewis. You've been around a lot of coaches. You've been here a long time. What does that speak to Dana and what he's done here as a coach?
He's done a tremendous job, and I wasn't with him the first couple years when they were in the Big East and in the first year of the Big 12, but since I've been here, every year you could just see him getting better and better as a leader, as a coach, and I think he does a tremendous job. The kids play hard for him, and that's the one thing in coaching that you look for. Can you get your kids to go out on Saturday and play hard? And I think that he's able to do that, and I think in my mind, that's what a great football coach is.
I've heard some people say you earn your wins here. You were with other coaches here. You've been a West Virginia guy. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think, too, that you look at the competition and the schedule and the things. I don't know if there's ever been a tougher run at schedule-wise at West Virginia than what Coach has went through the last couple of years. This year, what do we have, 11 Power 5 schools on the schedule? So, yeah, Coach Nealon may have done it, but I know when I was here from 01 to 07, we didn't have that many on the schedule. And then you're playing the likes of Texas, Oklahoma's, so it's a different deal, and I'm happy for him. Hopefully we can break every record here, and he can win a bunch.